Welcome back, MVL fans. Glenn Janos here alongside Colin Brown. And Colin, we'll just jump right into it. This week you got three really intriguing matchups, and we'll start with Maysville. They're a hot team. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and this week they have a really tough matchup when they host Coshocton. Yeah, Glenn, Coshocton's a really good Division IV team. They started off the season 5-0, and then unfortunately suffered a loss last week to a really good Division II New Philadelphia team. So Coshocton averages 300 yards of rushing per game for their team. And then Maysville's running back Jeremy Wilson averages 143 rushing yards himself per game. So this game's really going to come down to what run defense can stop the opposing rushing game. Yeah, and speaking of the running game, Sheridan and Philo both feature very heavily with the ground game, and they're going to be facing off this week. Are we going to be seeing much of the same? Yeah, I think so. Philo, they're a really big rushing team. They run behind Caleb Wiseman, who was injured last week and was unable to play. But this week he's coming back strong, really wants to come out and get Sheridan. And Philo only averages about 10 to 15 passing attempts per game, so they're really a run-heavy team. And then for Sheridan, they're anchored by running back Mitchell Fouch, who averages 154 rushing yards per game. So it's going to be another game where it's going to come down to the run defense and who's able to stop the opposing rushing attack. And Glenn, Friday night we have Tri-Valley at New Lexington. That's kind of our game of the week in the MVL. We'll be there Friday night. What do you think are the keys to the game? Well, Tri-Valley, they're rolling after their loss to Dover. They've won their last 2 games, outscoring opponents 93-0, outgaining them by almost 600 yards in those 2 games. So, I mean, they've been having no resistance the last 2 weeks. And they're going to be facing a New Lexington defense that hasn't given up much this season. They're only allowing 149 yards a game, 12 points a game. But they haven't faced a defense as balanced or dynamic as what the Scotties feature. So it'll be really interesting to see how well the Panthers defense can hold up against the Scotties. And, you know, another bonus for New Lex, that you mentioned it's their home game. It's also their homecoming. So they really have a lot on the line this week. All right, good stuff, Glenn. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at MVLGG for all of your highlights and updates Friday night as well as throughout the week. And be sure to tune in to Gridiron Glory at 11:30 on WOUB Friday night. Thanks.